And welcome to Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. If you're watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunt Hangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunt Hangar Forum member, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench, which is right below in memory of our friends. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into Stunt Hangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. If you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. That's courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunt Hangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in and enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. You can enter your questions or comments right over here in the chat box. I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. And understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself. So be patient, and I will ask the illustrious panel your question or state your comment. By the way, you only can do this during the live stream. So like I said earlier, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you find the Stunt Hangar video hangouts that I host or the many building videos, the contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform enjoyable and informative, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Subscribe, share the videos, comment on the videos. Also help the Stunt Hangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunt Hangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, there's two other tiers above that. And by the way, I'm a member of the $4.99 a month plan. It's coming to my own checking account each and every month. And now this is the last day of this month. It's going to be a year, 4 years actually, next month for me doing this. So I'm already doing it. I've been doing it for a long time and just asking you to partner with us to support the channel. Now, with your memberships, you get certain perks. You get access to member-only videos, which I know there's an Al Raby video there, one or two of them there. And there's some other videos. There's even some of the hangouts that I've done that are members only. And there's some other shows that Sparky's done as members only. So you can capture those shows with your memberships, which you ordinarily would not see if you just are just a regular YouTube viewer. Okay. Now this is Sparky's YouTube channel. If you want to catch up with me or have a comment or question that you want me to answer, please go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. And if you would go there, please locate the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which is a video that Sparky shot with his video camera of me flying his Junar XL, which was beautiful and light. Back then it was orange, predominantly with a little white trim. In fact, let me share this. I can actually think I have a picture here. Let me do this real quick. Let me see if I can share this real quick. Maybe I gotta be here. Just bear with me. I'll show you. I love this picture, by the way. Let me see if I can find this picture. Oops. Let me do it this way. Here we go. All right. So this is an image of me on the L pad. I think this was taken by, I know the guy's name, Gene Martin. Gene Martin took this picture. If you're listening or watching Gene Martin, thank you very much. You captured a bucket list item for me. I really enjoyed it myself at the Nats having, for change, having a pretty airplane at a contest. Because that not all my planes have been that good looking, and it's a light plane, flew awesome. So that's the picture of me at the Nats. And right behind me, I not think if that is a guy from Japan. I knew his name, but it escapes me momentarily. But anyways, I'm gonna stop sharing here. Let me stop sharing. Anyways, here I'm back. All right, and I think Gary Sinclair is making his way in here. I'm not mistaken. But anyways, if you go to my YouTube channel, leave a comment or have a question, I'll be notified on my cell phone, so I'll be able to respond to you quickly. I don't always go into the forum, and except for when I come in to set the show up, I post the link, and usually I go on to streaming the show, and I don't go back again until the following show. So, anyways, let me ask you to keep the conversations family room friendly. Um, Please don't use words or do things you wouldn't say or do around your own children or grandchildren. And one last thing, thank you so much for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Thank you very much. Let me get going here. Hey, Gary, how you doing, Gary?
Oh, pretty good.
Good. Well, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Did you find the link all right? I know I had the
Oh,
date wrong initially.
oh, did you? I didn't notice. I just noticed when it shows up. I thought, oh, there it is. So,
Oh, great. Yeah, I initially had posted May 13th instead of May 31st. So
oh,
um, let me make my way over to the control panel. Be just 1 second. Let me get there. Let me see here. There we go. I went flying today with I had Joe Mata with me and Carl Reed, just the three of us today. It was a beautiful day out there and no crashes. Well, you know what? Actually, it wasn't a crash, but it was a rough landing. But Joe had to, his engine quit on him when he was inverted, and
oh,
he had to land it inverted, which is always, it's no fun doing that. But at least he was on grass, so that was
oh,
one saving grace. He's on grass. He's able to land the plane and dust it off, and it was ready again for another flight. So that worked out all right.
that's good. No prop failure then, huh?
The prop didn't break. He actually able to just it was a APC prop, so it was a little bit tougher. If it was a wooden prop, might have been a different scenario,
Yeah.
but he was able to flip the plane over and put it in the pits and get ready to fly again in the rotation. You see here, John Miller's making his way in here. Hey,
Yeah.
John, thanks for coming in.
I look like the mad professor.
Uh-huh.
Now you're still looking good, John.
Yeah.
Uh, Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. We got
Spent
a
the,
comment. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
So we have some comments in the chat box. Thank you, everybody, for coming into the show and in the chat box. We have Gary Sinclair. He's the first one up in the chat box. He's a member of our YouTube channel. I can tell by the moniker next to his name. He says, "Hi, everyone. Like provided." And he's also a monitor of the chat box. He can delete people and silence them and give them times out. So behave. Then we have Roy Lane, who's also a member of our YouTube channel. He says, "Evening, like provided." Thank you very much. Then we have Marcel Legrand. He says, "Hi, Charles and everyone at Stunt School. Nice pick, Charles." Yeah, thank you very much. That is one of my favorite pictures. Absolutely. And then Joe Thompson says, "Hey, Charles, I'm working on my smoothie. All right, maybe you'll have it out next week. Maybe, right, Joe? That'd be great if you can come out next Friday with us. We'll have probably the same number of guys you had last time you joined us. And then Jeff Riley, actually it says Jeffrey Riley on the chat box. He says, "Gotcha, like my friend. Thank you very much, my friend. Appreciate it very much, Jeff." And then Daniel Barry Sports Highlights says, "Hey everyone, happy Friday." And then Jeffrey Riley says, "Hi, Joe. Hi, Carl." And then Philip Bailey says, "Light delivered." And Philip Bailey says, "Hi, Santa."
Huh?
Yeah, but even though it's May, it's "Hi, Santa," John. And so we have right now 16 concurrent viewers and 10 likes. Please, if you haven't hit the like button, please do that. Please make sure that you are a subscriber to our YouTube channel. To subscribe is free. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure YouTube hasn't changed your status so you'll be alerted when I come online or when Sparky comes online, that you'll be alerted and you'll be right there. So please check that out. Make sure you're still a subscriber. Well, let me get going here. So Gary's doing well,
Okay.
right, Gary?
Yep.
So
Yep.
we move on to, I think it was Stuart who came in after a while. And then we'll get to John. Hey, Stuart, how you doing, Stuart? Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, doing good. Went out flying today.
All right.
It was really nice, actually.
Oh, good.
Hot and not much wind, and I think the next 3 days are going to be good too. So we'll be back at her, I think, for the next 3 days. So it's looking good.
So what planes did you take out?
The Pathfinder again.
The Pathfinder, cha-ching.
Yep, ching. So
now this Pathfinder is when you built, or this was given to you?
No, that was given to me. Actually, I got it through Len. A fellow passed away out of Toronto, so they passed it down to me. So it's a nice plane. So it's been I'm doing pretty good with it, but I'm still screwing up a bit on the pattern, but trying to get through it, trying to get ready for Brodax. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, I have never flown. I've flown a Pathfinder twin, but I haven't flown the regular Pathfinders. But what I hear is it's a good plane. Yes, you got my attention, Keith. How you doing, man? Thanks for coming in.
Well, hi, Charles.
What you been up to, Keith?
Yeah.
Not much. Just kind of in the doldrums right now and lousy weather. But got a couple projects thinking about, but not working very much on them.
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully you'll get to them. Sometimes it's just a matter of just cutting a piece of wood to get started or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I found the tanks I can go that I was looking for the other night. If you don't want to.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm actually getting set up, but I haven't started making tanks yet.
Right back.
All right, thank you. Hey, Lynn, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. And also Mark Gerber, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Good group coming in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
I was worried until I saw Len come in, so.
Now you're really worried. Oh,
well, yeah, I'm
boy.
always a little bit worried at the beginning of the show when I'm just me by myself. And I'm like, I'm hoping someone comes in. Please don't just leave me in a dugout by myself.
Don't leave me hanging.
That's right.
Did you guys see the picture that I posted? I shared?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, let's see it.
You want to see it again? Let me see here.
Sure.
There's only one other person that was here when you posted it, so.
Okay. That's true. Let me see here. Whoops. I actually don't need to bring it up twice. I just need to share. Let me see here. And then share. We'll share this again. I'm sure you guys seen it before, but it's one of my bucket list days. That's me on the L pad.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Look at that grin.
Yeah, I know. And I was trying to be cool, not as big as I felt.
You didn't want to drool all over it, right?
Yeah, I would have. I mean, I had some restraint there. But I was really happy, very, very happy. And it's nice. I was telling the audience earlier that when I go to contests, up until that point, I really had never had a really pretty plane at a contest. So to me, to have what I thought was a very pretty plane was such a neat feeling, and to walk around and not be ashamed of what I was flying for a change. So that was really good.
Oops.
And what's so neat about it is that now that plane does not look like that.
He repainted it, didn't he?
He repainted it. It's predominantly white with some orange trim. So that picture is actually kind of unique.
Where did Keith go? He was there. I saw him.
He went to get some tanks.
Oh, no, he came back. He had the tanks in his hand. He started to share, and then he disappeared again.
Hey, I'm sure he'll be right back.
Yeah. Hey, have you printed up those plans yet that you got from me?
No.
Good.
I know.
I'll be sending you a new set.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I got them all done with
Those-
the new changes. I'll show you what I did for those
right.
that got it printed, because I don't want them to have. And poor Marseille, it cost him $90 New Zealand to get the plans printed. So what I've done is I've made a bunch of small PDFs,
Uh-huh.
paper size, and just covered the areas that I made the changes in, so they can see it. And then that way they can still build off the old plans. It's cutting the parts, you know.
Right. Very good. I have a comment from Jeff Riley. He says, I have a picture like that of me flying Charles stunt train. Oh, you saw the picture? He goes, what a blast. I was hoping you yeah, there's a newsletter, the NAG, or it used to be called the NAG, but yeah, it was last week or week before that. There's an image of me holding my SV11, and there's also an image of Jeff Riley holding my stunt trainer. So that's cool. I was hoping you would have that picture. Well, I wonder what Keith Trossel's doing. Let me just go on to Lynn Burrell then. Hey, Lynn, thanks so much for coming
Charles,
in.
how's it going? Hey, guys.
Wow.
Been a busy day here. Painted from morning till night. Painted, cut letters, masked. I used about 2 rolls of masking tape today. It's been a
Wow.
long day.
Wow, that's great.
Taping and taping, painting, and trimming all day long. So
Wow,
from
that's
morning till
great.
night.
Well, at
That's,
least you
that's
had
The
good
plane's
weather.
coming along. I missed a good flying day, but I'm gonna miss a couple more yet because this just has to keep happening day after day after day.
right.
So,
Right.
the breaks, it's the way it goes. Hopefully there'll be some good weather in July so I can practice.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's good.
But most of the paint is now on the airplane, so I'm ready to start doing the ink lines and the decals and stuff like that, and then I can get on to the clear coats and the sanding and buffing. So it's
Very
coming.
good. That's good. I'm glad you got some good painting weather for a change.
Oh, it was great today. The humidity was in the 30s. It was unbelievable here.
Oh, that is great. Oh,
But of
that's
course, I spend my whole morning and part of the afternoon masking, trying to do all the masking for all the lettering and stuff. Because I don't have a pre-cut machine or anything like that. I'm doing everything the old-fashioned way. So I've got, 6 rolls of masking tape, all different widths, and I'm just going like crazy with it out there, like drawing and cutting out patterns on paper and then laying them on the wing and then masking them up and peel it all off and tin foil till I look like it.
I won't say it, but somebody's got to say it, Len. All those days when you couldn't do anything, that's when you're supposed to be
Yeah.
doing all that, cutting all that stuff out and getting it laid up. So when you have
Well,
cut
the
it,
problem is but you can't, because the thing is, you can't lay it on the wing and see what it's going to look like until you've got it painted. So,
true.
until I got it painted, I just couldn't do
Well,
it. There's
okay.
an order of getting everything in the right sequence.
And we all got our
But
own orders. Yeah, okay, I got it.
yeah, the sequence is coming, but it's just not as fast as I'd like it.
I got you. Okay.
But it's coming. It's coming together.
Is your lettering
I
block
got
style, or has curves to it?
curves.
Curves. Okay. So how do you cut the curves? Do you use that curve
Hold
that curve
on. I'm
blade?
sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't hear your question. Did you ask about, does the trim have curves to it, or does the lettering have curves to it?
I was asking about the lettering, but either way, I
No,
was just curious.
all straight.
Okay.
I do all my lettering straight because I
Okay.
can't do. I'd be here for a month. So yeah, everything's straight lines on the lettering.
Okay. Very
You
cool.
should, if you do a paint job on any plane, you should complement the shape of the plane. So if
Right.
it's like an elliptical wing plane, you want curved lines on it. If it's an SV11 with everything straight on it, you want straight lines on it anyways. So
Good
I've
comment.
I have a combination of both on this airplane. It's a very square airplane, so it has some straight lines, but it's also got some curve to it. So the curve stuff's just freehand, though. I didn't use any. It's got big curves on the wings, and so therefore I had to just freehand it with an airbrush. So it turned out pretty good, actually.
I have a comment for you, Lynn. Jeff Riley says, mention to Lynn low tack shelf paper works as self-cut stencils.
Okay. Yeah, that probably would work very well. As long as it's low tack, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm finding I'm having trouble, and I don't know if anybody else has had this trouble. When you spray paint over masking tape, as soon as you do it, it starts to lift on the corners and stuff. It starts to move. It doesn't stay down as nice as I'd like it. I'm using the low tack stuff, the yellow stuff, like the automotive stuff, but I find it doesn't stick as well as I'd like it to stick. But then at other times, it sticks too much. So you can't seem to get a happy medium.
You have to have fresh stuff, Lynn. If
I-
it's sat on a shelf
Fresh.
six,
No,
well,
it's all fresh. It's all fresh rolls.
I don't
I just bought
understand.
them a week ago.
What's your problem? The paint is lifting off the tape, or the tape is lifting the paint
No, the
underneath
tape
it?
is lifting off the tape lifting off the plane, not the paint lifting.
Oh.
So I put the tape all down, get it all down there, and
And
then
then it
I
starts
start
to-
to see it move. It starts moving around a bit. Some
Yeah.
of it starts coming up. So then what I do is I press it all down, and then I run around, get the gun, do the spray right away before it moves again. It's a bit of a pain, but it seemed to work okay. But anyhow.
Hey, let me get to Mark Gerber. He came in after Lynn. Hey, Mark, how you doing? What's going on with you, man?
Well, I'm getting ready to go to Brodex.
All right.
So I've been trying to get my P40 back into shape, and it's been a comedy of errors, but I think I got it now. I had to put a bigger tank in it because it wasn't getting the runtime I needed.
Okay.
So I had to cut the top of the fuselage off so I could get the old tank out.
Wow.
And then I had to, glue it back in and finish it back off. So I just got that done this morning, actually.
Wow, a lot of work. It's like
Yeah, there's what it looks like now. So
nice. Hey, very good.
it's ready to go.
This tank you put in, was this a tank you made also, or?
Yeah, it's the one I showed a week or so ago, I think.
Yeah.
This one here. That one.
Really tight. Good. Okay.
But
Now,
then
when you're soldering it, how do you hold the tank?
Usually I put it in, I have a pan of ice, and I put it in that and carefully don't close it too tight.
Okay.
But it depends what I'm soldering. If I'm soldering the seam, I don't know if I have a picture of the seam. No, I don't have a picture of the seam. I got a couple of little C-clamps I put on it to hold it, and just let it sit on the table. And then, like I said, I put it over in the pan of ice. And it's small enough ice, you can tighten it gently. It doesn't distort the tank, and it holds it well enough. You can solder.
Very good.
So we've had like Keith mentioned, the weather's been crappy. We had really windy days, and I did get some flying, and I got my T-bird. You can see it in the background up there.
Yeah.
But it's I think it's past its prime. He had a big crack developing between the one wing and the other right across the fuselage.
Oh no.
A stress crack. And well, it's a 20-year-old airplane, so.
Yeah.
But I took it out. I took it out a couple of days ago, and I flew it, and it was flying really well. But I'm going to push my luck, and I could see at the field the crack was starting to propagate some more.
Oh no.
So I got it home and just took a good look at it, and I said, I think it's time to retire this baby. It would have been really fun to take it to Brodax and fly it in Classic, but
Right.
it's a little
You know,
embarrassing when the nose comes off the plane during the maneuvers and stuff,
Yeah, that's not a good sign. I have sometimes drilled holes at the end of the crack to keep it from propagating.
Well, I think this one, you can't see it here, but it goes I think the place is too fuel soaked and it goes right across the middle of the fuselage. It comes across the root of one wing here up to the root, and then it climbs up and goes across under the landing gear and comes back down the other side and goes into the sheeting on the other side. And when you gently press down on the tail and the nose, when it's upside down, you can see the cracks spreading.
Oh man.
So, like I said, I think it's time to.
Yep. Maybe it's time to hang it up.
Yep. Well,
Make
that's what I had done with it, but I was still kind of hoping I could fly it maybe for another contest or two, just for fun. But anyway, that's what I've been up to. I'm leaving for Ohio Sunday morning, so I'll be in Ohio next week, visiting my sister and some old friends, and then on Saturday the 8th, I'll be going on to Brodak. So
Very good. Well, have fun. That was a fun time for me when I went to Brodax. Yeah, I know you're gonna have some fun there.
Mark?
Let me see. Who was that?
I was just gonna say something, Mark.
yeah,
If you get a chance, get some good wet CA fresh and just fill that crack. Just run it down the whole crack everywhere. And that should keep it together for a little while longer.
I had done that
That's
once.
what I do. When I get old airplanes that are really tired and cracked, I just load the cracks with CA. Just keep filling it in there.
Does the
Keeps them together.
how does it react with the fuel soaked balsa?
Who cares? Doesn't matter.
Well,
What sticks, sticks. You're
it
trying
has
to
to
just
hold
keep
it,
it together. It's not for appearance or anything
Well, like
else.
I
Just
said, I
keep-
didn't want the nose to come flying off, so
No, well, that's true. Well, you can sort of, after you've filled it, stress test it a little, grab it. You'll tell if it's vibrating and moving around. You'll be able to tell.
what I've done, then on my Hurricane, I had some stress cracks in the wing sheeting and landing gear, and I took thinner and I basically rubbed off the finish around where the crack was, about an inch in all directions down to the wood, and then I put some carbon fiber in there, and I'm thinking maybe I fix it on with CA or something. I can't remember what
You can even do that, like sand the paint around the crack and put the
Yeah, but that's you're talking
the
about
glass
major.
to it.
You're talking about major refinishing. So
You're not going to worry too much about the finish at this point. Like you say, it's an
no,
old
I'm
airplane.
I'm
It's
more worried
tired.
about I'm more worried about all the work I have to do
Yeah,
to
you
get
don't
it
want it
back
to
in.
hurt somebody. Exactly. You don't want it to
Well,
fall apart and hurt somebody.
I like to keep going on my Bearcat and other things. So
Yeah. Just a quick fix thing, though. I mean, if you can keep it going and keep it in the air, it doesn't matter really what it looks like. You're just having fun flying it at this point.
yep.
Just a thought.
Very good. Let me get to Tryon. Welcome back to the USA, Tryon. How you doing?
Good.
So how'd it go in Romania?
I won it.
All right.
There you
Fantastic.
Congratulations.
The
Yeah.
Romanian champ is amongst us.
2 times.
2-time winner.
Yep. I got a video from the contest if you guys
Oh
want to
yeah,
see.
go ahead. We're set up for sharing. Love to see it. Hopefully it doesn't buffer or stutter too much.
Yeah, I hope so too. Here you go.
Look, yeah, beautiful day out there.
Yeah. The wind was blowing from all directions. It changed on me as soon as I took off. It's like, bastard. I'm not sure. This wing over, it's a thing of beauty.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
I was flying pretty solid all the time, so I got over there with 6 flights on board of this plane.
Mm-hmm.
And next day, I drove over to the field where this contest took place,
Right.
and I spent all afternoon just flying, just getting the rust off of me, because I was just first 6 flights I was scared shitless, and I was just stressed out and all that stuff. You know, I finally got to relax. You know,
Yes, I understand
and
being
get into
scared
it.
and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And this is pretty much the result after that. And I was just flying solid all the time, and
Tracking real good.
and pretty good. You know, I mean, look at this.
I'm looking at it. Yeah, I just laying one on top of another. Very nice.
Yeah, I was flying pretty decent. Um, yeah, this squares look solid.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is coming out okay or?
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's a
Not
few
bad.
frames are missing, but you can see the trend where it's going.
Yeah, this outside square wasn't the best of them, but this triangle is just beautiful.
Yeah, very nice.
I start to do a better horizontal eights on intersection. I'm not entering them lazy, you know. I'm just going for it. Bang! I just hit it hard,
Oh,
especially in
yeah.
intersections. And now they are rounder. They look nice and decent. They flow nicely. I don't move my wrist anymore in the middle of it. I just follow and just correct a little bit if I follow a little bit above or a little below.
You attribute that to your training you did, or to your trim, or what?
Trim, it's trim and just getting comfortable with the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
very
look at
nice
the
square
square.
eight. Nice square eight.
Yeah. And this is not my best one. I had the better one in the other flight. It was just like a thing of beauty. And here I learned like that instant that it's inverted, like to hit it real hard, go
Right,
opposite,
right.
and the plane is just stops and turns immediately, changes directions, and it's pretty good. Um, this plane does a very nice hourglass, almost effortless.
Yeah, very nice.
I was just comfortable, just flying, enjoying it at that point. So I started to work on. What was that? I got there Thursday, and Friday I drove to the flying field, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the wind was howling and stuff like that. But I said, you know what? I just want to practice with the plane to see how it reacts in the wind. And
Mm-hmm.
I moved the battery back a little bit, like about an inch or so, and they really behave very nicely in the wind. And um, and so that was fine. And Saturday morning, I started to go back at it, and I was adjusting my lead outs a little bit, and it got better and better and better. And the point, like, it's like from um, from having the plane as being a kind of, you know, in decent trim to a good trim was like a well, like about one
Okay.
eighth of an inch worth of position on the lead outs.
Right. Yeah.
Not the way it goes.
Was not much, yeah. And oh, and this is an FAA landing, but you need the one lap of gliding basically. So
Right.
I'm starting right here, my glide. I should touch down just right there.
Oh, nice. Nice touch.
Yeah.
Very
So
nice.
That's such a dumb rule.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what I did, I just maintained the energy of the plane, and as it was coming in for landing, I was just pulling on the plane to give it some energy. And after that, it's gonna glide in the lap just easily. That plane is just a sweetheart in the air. When it comes to that, um, and I don't know. What do I have here? Um, Excuse me, guys. Give me a second.
All right.
Uh, Let me see if I have. I lost my Apple.
All right. Let me just tell Stuart Morrison, thank you so much. Got a super chat of $20. Thank you so much, Stuart. I really can't remember last time I got a super chat. So thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. And then Dennis Adamison, who's a member of our YouTube channel, gave us a like. Thank you, Dennis.
I have to try to switch some things here.
Okay.
It's not reading my. All right, I'm back in business.
All right.
All right, so this is another one that was at the same time. Okay. Let me give me a second so I can get there.
Okay.
To be acquired. Okay, here it is. It's gonna take a few seconds for it to load up.
Okay.
So let me see. Let's get back to the sharing, Zoom meeting, share screen. Media player is still loading up.
All right.
This was my second flight actually. The first one I recorded all three of them, but the first one was crap, was really bad, and on this one I think I had the most steady wind, staying in the same direction for a change. And But this one had like a square 8 that's like mwah.
Huh. Cool.
So I'm gonna just fast forward to that.
All righty.
Yep. So these are the loops, inverted flight. Let's see here. What's this? It's just a square. Okay. Triangle. All right, so it's after this one.
All right. I hear some background noise. What's that from?
I don't know.
All right.
That is nice.
Is it good?
Yeah, very
Yeah.
nice.
There you go. Bam, 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 bam. Look how flat it is.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
I was even happier with it. Woohoo!
That's too funny.
You know,
What did they score you on that one?
uh,
Do you remember what they scored you on that 8?
I don't know any of the scores.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Those trees in the background give you good reference for your intersections.
Yes, they do.
they do. Yeah, yep. So I don't know what else to share. Yeah, it was good.
Well, congratulations on winning the Romania national championship. That's awesome.
Yep. Now I get to go to have some fun with Len.
Yeah. Now you're going to go to the world championships, right? Are you going to go to the Nats also and then do the World Cup and then the Nats? I mean, then the Worlds, or what are you going to do?
Vacation pending.
Okay. Very good. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. I think
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Keith Trossel, you walked away and came back with some fuel tanks for me.
Yeah, these ones I wanted to show last time.
All right.
I made about 3 or 4 like this. I don't know if these show up.
Yeah.
This is what I made for the Martin Baker,
Wow.
and they're
That
held
is
down by bolts that go through here.
okay. I
So
see.
there's no room for attachment clips inside the tank compartment.
Very good.
And this is
I asked
for-
Mark earlier, how does he hold his tanks? How do you hold your tanks when you're soldering them?
Oh, you mean when you're putting them together?
Yeah.
I've got a whole set of forceps with long noses on them, like this initial splice that's in here.
All right.
You put forceps, takes 4 of them. 2 reach into the middle, and then
Okay.
1 on each end.
All right.
And that clamps this in place. So run the bead of solder through there. And then there's a way to keep these things square when you're putting them together by making sure that when you bend the caps, that they're square. And then that keeps the whole thing square when you're putting it together. So, and it's the reason for this is for let air past the engine, and the muffler sits right on top of here, and then this space back here is to make room for the wing. So this goes
That's
in
cool.
underneath the wing.
Very nice. Now, when you're so
Very
you got
cool.
the forceps holding the that seam together, but aren't you pushing the iron against the tank? How are you keeping the tank from moving around when you're soldering it?
You just kind of hold it, really, you just hold it with the forceps and you have the flux going down the seam, and you just run the solder down there. And
You only need 3 hands. It's not hard.
yeah, and
Need 3
then
hands.
take the forceps off, and then you can get on the inside of the tank and run the solder. You have that little flange sticking up there. It's an 1/8-inch flange inside the tank. Then you just run the solder into that flange to make sure it's all soldered and everything. Then you clean it up, and that's it.
Very nice. Boy, that's a lot of different shapes there. Very nice.
The
Very
main,
impressive.
Piece of
main,
it's a piece of artwork, Keith.
main thing is getting those the mounting tubes in the right place to make sure they match up with the bolts that are underneath the tank inside the tank
Right.
compartment.
Right.
on.
And you can see there's reinforcing washers up here to distribute the load. Oh, this is not regular 1/8-inch tubing. It's copper tubing for water line or a gas line. So it's
Oh,
an
okay.
1/8-inch diameter, inside diameter, with a heavy wall on it.
It's
And then
3/16 on the outside.
yeah, and then the washer here helps distribute the load, so it's not just all being held by just the wall of the tubing. And then there's washers on the inside of the tank, at the bottom of the tank here, so this thing will sit flush in at the bottom of the tank compartment.
Wow.
Very nice.
Very nice.
And this was another one, same thing.
Very cool.
Okay, I'm going to have to go for a little bit, guys. Hold on.
All right. I think it was Brendan and Angstrom next. Hey, Brendan and Angstrom.
Hey everybody.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. We've been busy. We got down to Null and we've been flying at home preparing for Brodax, and we got our SV11 kind of up and working here that we're getting going. So it's just been real busy times. I don't know. Null was amazing. It was our first going to that, and we almost didn't make it there. There was about 3/4 inch of rain when we like 10 minutes before we got to Null, so we had to pull over in our RV and just let that wash its way out. But we then got to the aerodrome there, and it was an absolute mud pit. All the cars are just going through. And actually, what's interesting is the grounds there. They only have like a road that's 1 car length wide, so it's like 1 lane road there. And so we're trying to get in with the RV. Everybody just got washed out and is trying to get out of there. And so people are having to get off the road and create giant ruts, and it was a mess. But thankfully, there was a real nice guy there that was helping run the event. That he had a golf cart, and so when we kind of pulled up at the check-in area, he's like, "Hey, just pull that over and let's take the golf cart around and see how we can get you into, and get you situated." So it was nice. The kids loved it, getting on the golf cart and riding around the place. But if it weren't for him, we would have probably tried a couple spots and just got absolutely stuck. But yeah, we had never been there before. It was absolutely gorgeous, and had a good time with things. Let's see, Derek Barry, like the first day we're there for stunt camp stuff, Derek Barry and Dave Fitzgerald were looking over our flights, and we got some really good advice. And there was a guy also, I don't know his last name, but Kermit was his first name, who took some interest in Angstrom and I, and just, Kermit Payne. Yeah, fantastic guy. He was all about kind of being involved with us and giving us some tips and stuff. But we learned all sorts of stuff. For instance, like Angstrom's level flight was a little on the low side, but it's because he flies with a little bit of a bent arm low, and so they were encouraging him to get his arm straightened up. And then there were a lot of times where Angstrom on his hourglass, as he's doing that come down part, he fattens it out to be able to get enough, get it around. And what they were telling us is that he doesn't get it over his head enough, so he doesn't build up enough, drop with it and sustained drop to be able to make that corner. So we worked on that a lot. And then something else we learned, Angstrom's plane, one of them was kind of struggling with keeping tension throughout the maneuvers. And Fitzgerald put us on to like how you check for the yaw in the plane, about having your 2 tires that should be kind of with each other. If there's enough yaw, then the inside tire is about a half a wheel length ahead of the other one. I think I'm using the term right.
Okay.
But these are all things that like we did for the first time. Even taping hinges. We've taped hinges before, but we didn't know about the credit card trick and getting it deep in there. So we had, I think Joe Daly helped us on that, kind of showing us the ropes on that. So there were just a lot of things that we learned in the process that really were just good things. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Just,
Angstrom, you got anything to add?
Got my first 500. I got over
really?
500.
Fantastic.
Wow, good.
That's pretty quick.
The first day it was 498, but then I flew again the next day and I got, I think, 503.5.
Yep.
So,
wow, that's pretty impressive because you haven't been flying that long. So I'm really impressed.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, he's been chasing it. I think at Cleveland event last year, he got a 497, so that kind of left him hungry through the winter. And then he came down there in the first day. I don't know if it was in the profile or the nostalgia. He got a 497 or 498. Sorry, 498. And so he was left hungry, and then came out the next day and was able to get the 503. So we understand, Judge. What's that?
What plane was he flying?
Oh, is that a setup question? Go ahead, Angstrom.
Pathfinder.
There you go, Gordon.
What's that?
He got his first 500-point flight on a Pathfinder, Gordy.
There you go. Hey, Charles.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure and difficult to give both of these guys their plaques because I'm only 6 feet tall.
I know. Imagine if it was me or Sparky. Imagine if it was Sparky
it's like presenting
Vito.
it's like presenting to a tree.
Right.
And we'll bring you a step stool next year. Yeah, but I'll tell you, it's a wonderful family, and we're so pleased they came, and I hope you guys can make it back.
Yeah.
Hope so too.
Yeah,
They're
very
they're always a lot of fun.
So
Yeah, it was an absolute blast.
one thing I
Fantastic.
want to add, yeah, what I want to add on a hand position, it's a personal thing, mostly. Um, my my personal thing is that, yeah, when you hold your hand, you have to hold it in front of you. What do you like it stretched out or with a bend in the hand or something like that? But I think it's more of a, like, when your hand is relaxed in a neutral position. If your hand is like straight up in a neutral position like that, then you fly like that. If your hand is a little bit like that, like mine is, I have to fly like this, right? So my handle is perpendicular. So for other people, the neutral position, normal natural position here. So you fly more like that, but still the handle is vertical. And I like that because when my handle is vertical, my lines go straight out. So there's no pull on my hand, and it's equal. It's natural. Here I have up and I have down as well, right?
Right.
So, but this is my personal preference. So if I had my handle here, see it's straight. So this is my natural position when I fly. So I have up and I have down. And in neutral, the plane pulls straight out. So it doesn't have a tendency, like if you have the hand like this and your lines are like below, you can tell like it always wants to pull up on your wrist, right? And then when you try to give it down, you have to pull the whole plane with it, right? But when you're here, you're symmetric, and it's very easy to control it. But
Right.
this is my decision that I made for myself, right? So from now on, when I fly, when I just fly like this. This is my position when I go fly.
Yeah, I'm
that's
glad
works
you.
for me, and this is my preference.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I'm glad you
if
pointed.
you can fly, yeah, if you can fly with your hands straight out, but your hand is in this position, and that's your natural neutral, that's perfect. Probably the easiest thing to do.
Mhm.
But you
Yeah, I'm
have
glad
to
you
see.
different.
I can pull my hand up. I can do a lot of this, but I can't do up. So I have to fly like this in my relaxed position, but it's here, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we I'm glad you point out the difference on that, because actually what Angstrom was doing is he was kind of, it's hard to show kind of with the level of stuff, but he was kind of shooting from the hip. He had the bent arm, and it was kind of like almost like down by his jean pockets.
Yeah.
And so his arm was so low
Yeah.
that the plane naturally was flying low.
Yeah. You are either here with the plane, but you're here still with the plane, and you are following the plane. You're never like with a hand down behind your back or something like that. It's there. And what I probably say, if you're a right-handed person, I probably even recommend that you fly your level laps on your side. So you fly your level laps like this, and when you start the maneuver, you stop and wait for the plane to come in front of you, right? And then you do your maneuvers, right? And then as you go, probably if you fly invert, you're going to fly this way over your left shoulder. So you wait for the plane to come in front of you, gives you time to relax a little bit, have it come into your view, and then you go in your maneuvers. Kind of like thing, right?
That's also a great point. That's something like, I've just started to fly, but I've kind of thought about that dynamic, and have been able to post up in advance, like you say, flying to the side and wait on the maneuver. But Angstrom, I just kind of checked in with him. He said he's never kind of thought of that dynamic. So, I see how getting prepared and getting set and letting the plane come over to where you want it is.
Yeah, it's just you fly over your right shoulder if you're right handed, and then you just wait, and you have time to calm down. Wait for it to hit your spot. I mean, like you pick a spot, the plane comes, you hit your spot, and then you start your maneuver. I mean, you have time to do things versus being here in front of you, and all of a sudden you are in a maneuver going,
right.
You give your time to relax a little bit, right, and anticipate things.
Yeah, that's an excellent
Things
point
to think about.
Hey, thanks, you guys. I'm sure you guys are helping people in our audience as well. Let me get to the chat box. I got Montana Farmer. I haven't seen you in a long time, Montana. He says, "Hey, everyone, I found something interesting the other day. Have any of you heard of Firebat control line plane? I believe it's a combat. Anybody familiar with that plane?
What was the name?
Uh, Firebat. Does that ring a bell for anybody?
I think I
I've heard
remember
of it.
playing of that name, but I can't picture what it looks like.
Huh.
Seems
All
to
right.
me it was.
What was that called again?
Firebat.
Firebat
Is
was
it?
a flying wing by the Jim Walker Company. It had the elevator hinged directly to the wing.
Okay.
I have no idea where to find a picture of it.
All right. Thank you, Dennis. And then next is RC Fred _68, who is a member of our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for your support. He says, "Hi guys. Hope to meet some of you at Brodak. I'm planning on giving it a whirl. Will be my first control line contest." And what is your real name, RC Fred? So we'll know who to look for. Because if you're on the score sheet, you're gonna probably have a different name on the boards. And then Jeffrey Riley says Pete will run the solder down the tank. No pressure is necessary. All right. Let me see here. I think I have next up is Howard, but Howard is flying. So I'll skip to Philip Bailey. Hey, Philip, how's it going?
Doing great, gang. How are you?
Doing good.
Sounds like you've had a good week, Charles. Went fishing, went flying today.
Yeah,
we're
flying
going
today.
we're going in the morning.
All right.
A bunch of us are going in the morning. I don't know if I'm gonna get to fly or not, but I'm going out there anyway. We'll see when we get there. Just depends on how the neck's doing. They've been tweaking on it this week, and right now it's sore. But anyway,
Yeah, ice it up. I got a response from RC Fred. He said his name is Fred DeMaria. Thank you, Fred.
Okay.
Appreciate that. Look
We'll
out
be
for him,
looking for you at Brodak.
guys. Look out for Fred DeMaria. His first time going to a control line contest. I'm sure you're gonna have
Well,
a
he
great
picked a
time.
heck of a good one to go to.
Yeah, didn't he? Didn't he? Sure did. And then Gordon
we're gonna-
Delaney, you still with us, Gordon? Hey, Gordon, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
What you been up to?
Making your slider plate for your horn.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. It's awesome.
I've got them made. I just got to separate one. You know, you'll have to cut them each individually.
That's okay. I can do that.
But I've got to cut them off because I made some for Howard and I made some for you.
What
Thank
do they
you. I
look like,
appreciate it.
and how do they work?
What's that?
What do they look like, and how do they work?
Well, they work really good. You know, most of the sliders, they go inside.
Yeah,
the
and yours
slider.
goes on the outside of it.
Mine goes on the outside. Really. Outside.
You could end up making a bunch of those, because I like to have some too.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, that's
Thank you
that's
very
pretty
much.
neat.
Appreciate that.
Did
That
well,
way
Gordon.
it doesn't have tendency to spread the slider apart.
Yeah, I've had
Right.
that happen and had to go back in and make something that went around it to try to hold it, and that's a general purpose pain in the backside once the plane's built.
Yeah, Jim Aaron ended up crashing his airplane, about 10 years ago because of that.
Yeah.
Right. Have you been talking to Brent Williams, Gordy? He's on a Brent's making some elevator and flap horns.
I haven't talked to him for a while. You know, I went to the contest and I talked to him when I got home, but I haven't talked to him for the past week. I guess he's going out flying tomorrow with Danny and Malcolm.
All right.
So,
If he gets those ready and is going to sell them, I mean, he alluded that he might sell them, but he didn't say he was going to. I'd like to have some too, 2 or 3 sets anyway.
what's that on the control horns?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Showed me a picture of them today. They look pretty good.
They do look really nice. Even the brazing look very nice. They look like a nice product. So
Yes, much better than the soldering.
All right. Thank you so much, Gordon. And then Mark Wise. How you doing, Mark?
Hey, Charles, guys, good to see you again.
Good to be seen.
Um, I've decided to bring my psychiatrist with me to Brodak and then to the Worlds, so I could look forward to 2025. Brodak was fine. It was challenging with some one violent flash flood.
You mean the
That was
null?
about the time they were all coming in.
You mean Nolly? You
Yeah,
mean
the
Nolly?
great.
Joe Knoll
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe Knoll. I'm
or
sorry.
did you try time travel?
Yeah, it was Joe Knoll. Um, I stayed in the trailer with Will, and which is always an experience. It's a lot of fun.
You brave soul.
He's probably the best flying control line cook that I know.
Yeah.
I think he has one hand on the stove and one hand on the handle. But we had a
I
great
can't tell
time.
which one he likes better.
Um, they're both pretty good.
Oh, yeah, they are.
He cooks and he flies electric only.
Yeah.
So, and no gas. It was great to have David there from California with Joe, Derek. It was we had a really loaded expert field. We had some beginners, intermediate. We ended up having two advanced flyers, but they were nice enough to fly in expert. So we didn't have an advance, but we did that. One reason is that you need fewer judges. And finding judges is always it's always a challenge. I judged expert, and I was one of the judges along with Dale Barry. Um, Derek won. It was close.
Hey.
Wow!
Derek,
Congratulations, Derek.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Derek, I mean, Derek's
congratulations,
been
Derek.
flying awfully well. He flew well last year at the Nats. So that was good. From there, I drove to Jacksonville to be with my son, who really tried my patience when he said to me on the ride from Jacksonville, which is about 6.5 hours from Triple Tree, it'd be nice if you could help me pick up some speakers from a friend of mine. I'm going to rent a car because these speakers are so good. I said, I'll take a ride with you. By the way, where are they? And he said, Charlotte.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So after this long ride to Jacksonville, 2 days later, we went up and back to Charlotte. And then 2 days later, I drove 14 hours straight home.
Damn.
Well, I'm looking forward to Brodak. I mean, I'll just be getting comfortable when I get there. I did check with Buzz. I asked her if I could stay in the apartment Friday night. When you walk into the shop to the left, there's a bathroom and a very nice, basically an apartment with a stove and a refrigerator. And that's where they store all the trophies, but they're nice enough to let me sleep there one night.
Nice.
And Buzz did offer that I could stay in the house with she and the two cats, which sounded good until she said her sister would be there. And I said, no, I'll stay in the apartment. So those of you know Lainey, she's a great lady. I just thought it would, I shouldn't do that. Working on the Nats, I mean, John is in charge of it. He and I spoke just the other day looking at things. Right now, and I don't know if any of you guys, maybe Keith was at the Nats in 2004, but the entry level right now is low. It's not terrible, but it's low. And I have a suspicion that because the Worlds is following it, and a lot of people can't take 2 weeks off, they may be skipping the Nats so they can watch the World, which is understandable.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. My able assistant Paul is on probably a 2-month trip with his wife in their motorhome, and so he and I just been contacting what we need to. Bill Lee, who's the CD for everything, staying close. So it's getting closer. It's probably about, I don't know, 10 weeks out, maybe something like that. So anyway, keeps me busy. Things are going well. One of the things we're going to do at Brodeck, anyone that's going there, Denny and I are going to talk to you about what the judging committee of Pampa has been doing. And I think you'll be surprised and I think happy about it. So we're going to figure out when's the best time to do that at Brodeck. It doesn't interfere with, the contest, obviously, and doesn't keep people there too late. So probably mid to late afternoon one day. So, share some good news with you. And looking forward to Brodeck, looking forward to the Nats. It's good to be back here. And I think, Len, congratulations.
Yes.
I'm glad we'll
Thank
see
you.
you at the Worlds.
We'll see you at the Nats and the Worlds.
Absolutely. And
You betcha.
Naomi,
Looking
Naomi
forward
is,
to it.
is Naomi coming with you?
No, you mean, am I coming with Naomi? Let's
Oh, I
get it
see.
straight.
So Naomi is bringing her entourage, huh?
That's right. Naomi's bringing me to the Nats and the Worlds. I don't bring Naomi.
There you go. There you go.
If I
Mark,
come
I'm
with,
gonna
if
see you
I,
at the Worlds too.
yes, you
Wonderful.
betcha, trying.
Wonderful. Right now, I think the number is 35 countries. The last time I looked, anyway.
Nice. Wait.
Yeah,
Nice turnout.
yeah. And the other countries voted okay if we have to. Canada can come. So,
Even Len,
yeah. So
begrudgingly, eh?
yeah, Len, I
That
told
probably
him.
said definitely no Romanians.
Well, Len, I told them you'd wear a hairpiece, so they couldn't
My
spot you
God.
easily.
I'll make sure I keep my hat on.
There you go. So anyway, it's good seeing all you guys, and I'll shut up and let the important people talk. Thank
All
you,
right.
Charles.
Thank you so much,
Well,
Mark, for coming in.
Before you go, Mark, I got a question for Mark.
Go ahead, Gordy.
Somebody
Yeah.
was asking, can you enter the Worlds as an individual?
Can you enter the Worlds as and not be on the team?
Yeah.
No, someone asked that several months ago. And if I remember right, Gordy, I said no, but I don't think that's correct.
There's a listing in the list of attendees called FAI. And I'm puzzled about who that is.
I will get back to you on that. I'll give Bill a shout tomorrow. I have a lot of FAI material. I don't recall seeing that, but I could have glossed right over it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I thought you could, but I don't know that for a fact.
And again, I'm not sure if the question was about Gordy, the Worlds or the World Cup. And we're not involved with the World Cup because it's too much. We have the Nats, then we have the World Championships, and to put the World Cup in between when you're trying to get volunteers is just about impossible. You're asking too much. But I'll get back to you on both of them.
All right.
I think the World Cup, yes, but the Worlds, no.
Yeah, I think that's the right answer.
All right. Thank you very much. Hey, Sparky, how you doing? Sparky, what you been up to?
Not a whole lot, working on my house. Put a new front on the house. So that's why I haven't been on much.
Okay.
Just
Hey,
building-
Sparky, that looks like my workbench.
Yeah. Just building some tanks. Got to be able to run things, so I got to have the keyboard handy if I'm standing over on that end.
Right.
Out of the way. So I don't know. I'll have 8 tanks ready to go for Brodex.
Wow, that'd be good.
I don't know whether they'll sell or not. I ain't selling them for no cheaper than I said though.
Right. I shared a picture of me holding the Junar at the 2019 Nats?
Yeah,
Remember when your plane was mostly orange?
yeah.
Yeah.
When did you do that?
At the beginning of the show, and I did it a little bit later. But if you watch the replay, the beginning, you'll see it.
Well, I'm glad you had fun that day.
I sure did. I had a great time, and all righty. Let me go on to Dennis Adamson. Hey, Dennis, how you doing? Thanks for coming in.
Hey, good to be here. And let me open with this.
All right.
That
Oh,
is
wow.
my brother Dave holding a AJ Walker Firebat.
So you found a picture of the Firebat. Wow, amazing.
I was looking for it. I was looking for one of the official, kit pictures or something. It's not on Stunt Hangar, and I couldn't find that. I remember, what the heck? I got a picture of my brother holding one.
I
Wow.
found a
Covered it
fish.
with flowered nylon, which was the one of the hot tips there. There was a fabric store about half mile away. Used to ride our bikes over there and buy silk or nylon, and use that on the combat planes. So that was a mostly regrettable, floral pattern and everything like that. But it was really tough stuff. But
I found a picture
anyhow,
of the.
that's a Firebat.
I found a
Denny,
picture of the
Denny.
kit
Dennis.
box, Dennis.
Who's
Denny,
looking
who's
out the
looking
window?
out the window? Who's looking out the window behind Dave?
Hell, that might be me. I don't know.
I was
Looks
wondering
like
if that
probably.
was you.
Oh man, I better stop that.
Quickly.
Very good catch, John Miller. I didn't see that until you pointed it out. I was so focused on the airplane and his brother.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh, very nice. Thank
Wow.
you, Mark.
That's what it looked like, I guess.
Yeah, very
Oh.
good.
So
But there you go, Montana farmer. We got some images of the Firebat.
It's actually kind of a profile fuselage built into the wing, and then they just had the elevator hinge right on the back of the wing. Because if you didn't have a fuselage on it, then that made it look like a combat plane. So that's what all the early combat planes looked like.
Kind of like a T-square, huh?
Yeah, the T-square, the reactor, the
Half-assed,
what?
nose
The
cone.
WOW.
Wow.
The Orbit Ace, the Berkeley Orbit Ace, they're all basically flying wings with a swept leading edge. Deltas were all the rage too before everybody discovered they really don't fly very well. And but they sure look fast. So
Yeah,
besides, the Air Force was
half-ass.
flying Deltas, so you had to have a combat interceptor, so you had to have a Delta wing combat plane because the Air Force did. So anyhow.
Wows are fun. If you could just get that leading edge straight, you were in the house. Most of the time, the leading edge where it comes together off the ribs was just two pieces of 1/16 that came together. Nothing in between, just two pieces of 1/16. And they warped something terrible. But if you could get a straight one, you had a good flying airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, Dennis. And then
Other than
Carl
that,
Reed.
just, life goes on. I did get to fly yesterday.
You
And
did or didn't?
I did.
What did you
And
fly?
I was going to go out again today, and I got distracted, and I had chores, and I had this to do and that to do. And before I knew it, it was too late to go fly. So I didn't get to fly. And the weather forecast for the rest of next week is going to be really touch and go whether I can fly or not. And a week and a day from tonight, I'll be on my way to Brodak. So I guess I'm not going to take a chance on being over practiced or anything. So
What did you fly? What did you take out flying?
I'll fly in the Gypsy.
Nice,
I
nice.
think I'm going to fly that in Classic and Pampa. Flies really, really well. People seem to like the way it looks in the air and stuff like that. So we'll see what it does.
Pretty on the ground.
Very easy to fly. I did learn some things this last week about trimming. Again, I don't know. We can maybe come around to that, but basically, had two checkpoints on it. My friend has a tutor that he's been flying forever. It's like 19 years old now, and he just at this point in time, he just tries out stuff on it. And one of the things he was trying, you know, over the years, he's decided that he likes his airplanes more responsive. So he's been moving the CG back on it and stuff. And he did something. He had some slugs of nose weight on it. And he's not even sure why he put them on there. I think he was trying to adjust the CG to the instruction manual or something. He always flew it that way. And they were built in such a way they were a little inconvenient to take off, but he wanted to try it with the CG back a little bit. So he put some weight on the back rather than taking the weight off the front, just to see if he liked it. And he thought he did. And I was watching the airplane fly, and I thought, my God, that thing looks awful. It's just, mushing around turns and stuff like that. And it never used to fly like that. And I finally convinced him to take all the weight off of the, mark the CG, take all the weight off that he had added on the back off, and then start taking weight off the front,
Right.
Well, he did all that. He ended up taking a total of 2.6 ounces off the airplane.
Wow. Wow.
But that weight was all the way to the front and all the way to the back. All right. So it was like a barbell out there. All right. With these weights on the end of it. And sure enough, he got the CG on the same point as where he started. Flew the airplane, and he said he couldn't believe how much more responsive it was. It wasn't more sensitive, but it just turned cleaner than it ever had before, and much cleaner than it had with the weight on, added weight on the front and back. And yeah, it really looked different from the outside when you see, you could really, even spectator, you could see that. So on the Gypsy, I had a similar situation. I took it to BSC, and after a few flights, I thought it felt a little nose heavy. So I put a 1/4 ounce weight, under the stab, and improved it, and I finished the contest like that. I had a couple of issues with it. I had trouble like at the top of the triangle. It felt like I was really pulling hard on it to get a good definition on that corner and stuff. And I thought, gee, I need to to fix that. Maybe, and I didn't want to add any more weight to it. But I was able to go to the next size smaller motor. It's 20 grams lighter. And then that let me take the 1/4 ounce off the back, which was, of course, way back. So there's, so basically the airplane got lighter by 27 grams, or if you will, 1 ounce. And even that, again, the sensitivity, the balance point was back where it was. And I thought I'd start there. I figured out I could move the battery a little bit and move the CG more if I needed it. And even just taking that little bit of weight off compared to what my friend did, the airplane is more responsive without being overly sensitive because of the, taking the weight off either end or off both ends. So it's, in the way back when, in Bob Gialdini in his Olympic article talked about having weights at the extremes, the wingtips, the nose and tail, things like that, and why it was a negative effect and stuff. I guess I proved it to myself that it really, after all these years, it, one of the few times I've actually really proved it to myself that, it was kind of a light bulb moment for me. So.
It's a moment of inertia, and you're trying to fight it. The plane's trying to fight it and to turn that corner. It's like having like a stick and trying to turn the stick like this in a direction, right? And then you put the weight at the end of the stick and try to do the same thing.
Put a slug on either end of it,
Yes.
And then it's like hard to start the turn and hard to stop the turn.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Even though the amount of pressure to turn the airplane is the same, but it just starts to turn easier if the weight isn't out there,
Yes, absolutely.
You want all the weight to be like a bowling ball in the middle with all of these weightless feathers off of the edges, for your controls, flying surfaces and stuff, because that
ideally,
way,
yes.
Yeah, you don't want any concentrations of weight if you can avoid it. At the end, or lessen them as much as you can.
So do you run a 1-to-1 ratio?
Mostly, I think the Gypsy, I've got actually the Gypsy's a little faster elevator. not a full 3, 1.5 to 1. It's probably about a 1.1 to 1. And my friend was running a 1 to 1 on his tutor.
Yeah, if you increase the elevator, is like adding tail weight, makes the airplane more responsive.
And if you have the weight on there, you'll still be paying for it. But what you're saying is right on target. But get rid of the mass too.
Right, exactly.
Right. So yeah, but and rather than deal with the symptoms, see if you can deal with the cause.
Yep.
All right. So you can, rather than adding weight. And of course, when you speed up the elevator and stuff like that, that it responds that much, that much better too. But get rid of the weight.
Yeah.
I'm
I
running
think most
0.6. I'm
most of
running
mine are set up
0.6%
around.
flaps to one elevator.
I'm sorry?
I'm running 60% flaps to 100% elevator right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have a very light airplane and stuff. So yeah, that sounds about right. So
yeah. I think I
What
could
was
get
your,
away with 50% even.
I couldn't
Yeah.
hear what Gordon was saying. Gordon and trying to speak at the same time. What was you saying, Gordon?
I was just saying that most of mine are only around 11 to 12 degrees difference between the flap and elevator, but I do have more elevator than flap.
Right.
Yeah, that's all good. But the thing I'm talking about is just the inertia effect.
Right.
Make it big here. Hang on.
All right. So it's everything everything you said is absolutely dead on. But the inertia effect is still one of the symptoms of, the airplane will still respond. It'll fly cleaner. It's like it's like adding turn without adding sensitivity. All right, because you're not trying to turn and stop that weight. It just responds quicker. All right. And then, I usually like faster elevator, a little faster elevator than flap. But I adjust it other ways too. But my aha moment on this is just the different, what happens when you change just the mass concentrations at each end. That's all.
Dennis, you know what will even push it even further? If you move the elevator back.
Yeah. I think you got to be careful what you wish for, even with that.
Yeah.
So I think there's always room for improvement. I know yours is really, really long, and I really like that too. But there's both. You have the turning force and you have the weight back there too. So yeah, you gotta be careful with it.
Yep. When I did I had a program for a glider. It's called a CG calculator. And when I put my numbers in for the wing, for the wing platform, for the elevator platform positions and all the stuff, it came out to it's a number over there that says how much effective your elevator is, and 0.6 is about the maximum you can get. And mine was exactly at 0.6 on that on those calculations. So it's maxed out on the position and the effectiveness of it. But of course, like you say, it's super light on the backside anyway, so I can afford that.
Well, sailplanes have a different maneuvering challenge than what stunt planes do. But one thing about the Gypsy is it's actually kind of a short-tailed airplane, long nose, short tail, and it probably doesn't help anything either. I just looking at it, I dearly wish I could have just built the if you will, the stock fuselage and moved the wing forward about an inch or inch and a half or so. I think I would be happier with the airplane. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
But
anyhow, now that I put everybody to sleep with that.
No, you didn't.
I'm having a good time. So
yeah, you did.
These are the good conversations.
Yeah, it is. It is good. Let me say hi to Carl Reed. Hey, Carl, good to see you again. We went flying today. Thank you for coming in to see the show as well as flying with me this morning. We're not hearing anything, Carl. I know you're not muted, but anyways, let me go on to Jonathan Karatis. Hey, Jonathan, how you doing? And you're muted, John. You got to unmute your mic.
Yeah, hi guys. Yeah, we got bit of a dinner party coming up with some of the neighbours shortly, so
nice.
It's a bit noisy around here, but
hey, that's nice. Had that going on.
I haven't been doing much flying, but this thing's just about there. I'll hold it up at a distance. Oh, spinner's fallen off.
Oh,
the hurricane?
Yeah.
All right.
You have a shine on there.
Oh my gosh.
I see a
beautiful.
That's looking wonderful.
Very nice.
Wow, look at that shine you got there, Jonathan. Very nice.
Good. Very sharp.
Very nice, Jonathan. Very nice. I see you've been watching Sparky at the under the cowl. The exhaust holes remind me of Sparky's plane.
Yeah, it's styled on the sort of, cowling that Sparky's been working on.
Yeah,
a few times, and there's plenty of breathing in there.
Yeah, very nice, man. Looks good.
The tank is on the drawing board. I've made a cardboard dummy for the tank.
Okay.
And it's got to be put together this week. So I haven't bothered in the past. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't bothered with getting a pipe bender for the small 1/8 diameter, brass fuel tubing.
I thought use copper.
Yeah, a lot of guys do. What's the difference? Is there much advantage in using copper? Is it just because it's softer, or is it something else?
Copper will split on you in time.
The brass will split on you.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah, you want to use
brass
copper.
will split when you stress it on the corners, or when you mean it'll unroll, or
no, you might have the tank fried for you for several years, and all of a sudden you'll start sucking air. You take the tank apart and you find that the brass is split inside.
Ah.
So
Okay, well, that's a new one on me.
Most of the guys have stopped using brass and are going to copper.
And the copper, if you heat it up red hot, and then it gets real flexible.
Yeah, you let it cool down slowly, don't you? And it anneals it.
Heat it up red hot and let it cool, and then you can bend it, much easier.
Yes, yeah.
Get it to where
I find that works quite. I find that works quite well on my finger too when I'm soldering.
Your finger bends?
Yeah, so anyway, that's the stage I'm up to, but it'll be a 6-ounce tank or maybe a shade over. Because I'm not, I can't do the full pattern now. I mean, I'm just too stiff in all the wrong places, you know what I mean?
Have you run that Merco yet?
Oh yeah. No, it goes strong. It's a good motor. And I'm just taking my time now, finishing it off. I'm quite enjoying the building process. A couple of weeks ago, I could have thrown it all in the trash. I'd had enough of it, but I'm starting to pick up again. Oh, now this is something you guys might be interested in too. There was a Kiwi guy building these props here in New Zealand. I don't know whether I've shown you this before. This, what's it called? A Garvin. He doesn't make them anymore, but these things are sought after propeller, and I've got a bunch of them.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
I've probably got about 10 or 12 of them. And the guy used to make quite large props, right down to, I think he went down to 11-inch. And one of the guys that I fly with occasionally, he said to me, "Oh, I'll give you $80 for that prop straight up." And I said, "No, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you, but I won't rip you off for that much." But that's a lovely propeller. But the guy who used to make them's not around or doesn't make them anymore. But it's I'm trying to hold it so you can see it. Trying to watch myself and
Looks
I
like a
hope it's
rev-up.
camera.
It does remind me of a rev up, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
it looks
beautiful
like-
prop. You know, they really are nice props. So anyway, that's what I'm going to paint, and paint black, Sparky, like you did with yours. That'll look good on the Hurricane, and I'll put white tips on it. And the Hurricane really, instead of a yellow spinner, should have a light grey spinner. But I probably can't get one at the moment, so I'll just use yellow for the first couple of flights anyway.
I kind of
so
did
that's
like
where
the
I'm
yellow.
at.
I said I did like the yellow.
The yellow makes it stand out, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It sure does. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
think,
really pops.
yeah, the Messerschmitts were yellow. They had a whole yellow front on them, of course. But, while I'm online too, I just wanted to say to Denny, I believe you're 70 the other day, Denny. Is he gone?
No, he's here. He's just
Yeah.
astonished.
He's just a kid.
Perhaps he's denying the fact. Is he? Where is he? I can't see him.
What
He's in
can
the
I
red,
say?
He's in the red shirt.
Where else can you go? I'm 70 years old and people still call me kid. I mean,
Yeah, control line is great.
that's there I am.
I wrote
as
something. I wrote
Compared to
something
heading into
to
my
everybody else, he is a
8th
kid.
decade, you know, so
Denny. I wrote something to you on Stunt Hangar. You might
I
not
saw
have read
that.
it yet.
I got a kick out
Oh,
of
you
that.
did. You saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's there's a bit of truth in that, I reckon. One thing I like about being a bit older is that you don't actually give a bugger about what other people think in some ways. And some ways that's a healthy thing. In other ways it can be unhealthy too. But as
Well,
long as you keep it under control, it's quite good.
getting older still beats the alternative. So,
And how?
but in perspective, I'll get another perspective on that on Monday when I go visit my doctor. And she went to school with my daughter. All right. So, and I still struggle with that, but she's fabulous. But
Awesome.
but it is one of those things. Rather just a little unnerving. That's all. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
What's the
So do you,
expression? I was taught to respect my elders, but it's getting harder and harder to find any. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
It's like my mates. I don't have any. A lot,
Oh, I'm sorry to
a
hear
lot of
that.
them. A lot of them are kicking the bucket.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
yeah.
Oh well, but yeah, no, I've got a lot of mates. Don't worry about that. But I mean, it's one of those things as you get older, you just got to get to grips with it. It's a bit like war. There's casualties at the end of the line, unfortunately. But anyway, so that's me.
You never
But
know.
yeah.
You never know how much you have. So live it all. Live it, with your eyes wide open and stuff like that. And just keep going. Don't let the old man in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you did
Absolutely.
right there.
You know
Yeah,
my philosophy on that, Danny,
What's that?
and I'm serious about this. You can live a lot longer if you're immature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I'm
makes
telling you, there's
I keep waiting for this old enough to know better to kick in.
Yeah. Me too, Dennis. It just
Yeah.
doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, luckily it hasn't yet, but
Well, when you get to that point, you can't remember anything. So
yeah, that's true.
that's
The more
true. Well, that means
Can't remember stuff.
our old friends can be new friends at the same time.
That's right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hey,
So-
Charles, can I talk for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the highlights, I'm sure Phil is like this because he's like me on it. is running around Triple Tree like anywhere else and seeing what bargains there may be. So one of the things I picked up in the category of I don't need it, but it looked nice. The guy was selling a brand new Super Tiger 51.
Okay. All right. Wow.
The chromed edition with the original instructions from World Engines, so that'll date it a few years.
Yeah, that's true.
That was $35.
Very
Wow.
good.
And then the guy came to the circles, and I walked over to him to say hello, and he was even older than me and Dennis. And he said, "I got a few kits I'd like to sell. I'd kind of like to get my money out of them." And I mean, what do you mean your money? And he said, "Well, what I paid for." I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, what do you got?" So in his car, he had a Sig Chipmunk still in the wrapper.
Nice.
You know? And I said, well, you know, it all depends on price. So he said, well, I'd like to get $25 for it.
Wow.
So
I bet
I reluctant
flying out of his pocket.
Say yes.
I didn't dicker with him, but I gave him his money and I started walking away. He says, well, I have one more. He said now I never heard of this company. I know some of you have, and I'll show you the box. The box is a company called Consolidated.
I knew you would.
If it's a you name it, I'm gonna be sick.
And what he had, and I think this is before Larry gave it a name, but it's a Larry scare is in the airplane.
Oh
man,
that's what I've been looking for.
Dennis, tell him your story, Dennis.
I'll take it.
Don't make me sick.
So you're familiar with this airplane?
Dennis's mother named it.
Dennis's mother?
Yeah.
Well, she was second place in the contest.
That's
The official name, the winner of the You Name It contest was I met the guy, I can't remember his name. He named it the Trident.
That's right.
And my my mother, her entry was Cygnus, and they said that it was a second place, but they still gave her a kit. All right, which my dad built, and I'll find a picture of it here someplace. And of course, he named his Cygnus.
Nice.
Okay, so that's it. Because I told Bob Hunt about it, and Bob said, I'd love to have that kit. And I said, you? A kit? He said, absolutely. You know, Larry and I were very close. It would mean a lot to me. So I'm going to bring it up and show it to him. The wood is incredibly nice. I mean, you talk about it's got to be 3 and 4 pound balsa.
Nice.
It's just awesome. So anyway,
there it is.
I said, well, what do you want for that? And he said, well, 20.
Wow.
I said, sure. He said, yeah. He said, I think I could get more at eBay. I'm just not one of those guys to do that. And I said, honestly, I'm not either. Is that it?
That's the Cygnus. It was built from the second place kit. All right.
How did it fly?
Pretty good. Pretty good. He built another one later on for VSC. And the airplane is he ended up selling it. The thing made its way around, and it's actually in the it's at Brodak. It's in the last I saw it was in the basement of the office building, the steel house, the prefab house.
Wow.
I forget what but at any rate, yeah, that's it.
Very nice.
There's another story. I don't have it handy here, but Mark Gerber was actually able to colorize this thing, and we were able to.
I'm looking for it too, Dennis, but I can't find it either.
I can't find it. It's on my other PC for sure. I don't think I put it on the laptop. So, but at any rate,
yeah. Thanks, Charles. I thought someone up here would know this airplane.
Yeah, very nice. It's a good-looking airplane.
Yeah, with all the sharp points on it,
the
everything
silhouette
like
of
that.
it.
It's one of those airplanes. If you do everything right, all of those sharp lines and straight lines, it really looks good. If you make any mistakes, all of those points and those sharp lines, they really look awful. All right. It just accentuates every little error. But
thank you, Danny. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's
Mark, I'll
a,
give you 20 bucks for it right now. I need a classic plane.
I'll give him 21.
I'll double
Charles,
it.
it's such a joy for me, Charles, to be back on here.
That's great. I'm glad.
Okay,
I'm glad.
25, but I ain't going no higher.
Everybody's trying to beat you,
30.
Mark. Look at that. Unbelievable.
Nice.
I believe John brought the remnants of the consolidated company. It was formed the basis of a couple of his early kits and stuff like that. But he's still got
I think Larry drawn.
some stuff. He's got things like templates, master templates and stuff like that from some of the kits, the Jumpin' Jack, the Jubilee, things like that. So
I have an offer for you, Mark, from Jeff Riley. He said he'll trade you a paint stand for the chipmunk. He makes a really nice paint stand. I mean, not only does it, I mean, you get the angle. It goes up and down at angles and up and down. It's a really nice paint stand.
just curious, on the chipmunk, was it the original chipmunk or was it the super chipmunk?
Super.
Okay.
Yeah. But both of those for 45, I thought was reasonable.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, I'm trying not to sell it, but thank him anyway.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. And I have a question for you, Keith. Are you using brass or copper tubing in your tanks you're making?
Always copper, yeah.
Always copper? Okay. And Jeff Riley said earlier that brass is brittle and won't tolerate the vibration.
Yeah, it'll split. Eventually it will split.
Not only that, the nitro eats up the brass over time.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Gordy.
How does it do on aluminum?
I don't know. I've never used aluminum.
That's what
Well, it would be hard to use aluminum on a conventional tank because you can't solder the darn stuff.
Unless you're doing
Yeah, well, I bet it glues pretty good.
Yeah, that's
I
what
bet
I'm
it does.
using
Made for
here.
carbon fiber.
Using Davy Weld, Sparky?
Yeah, and I'm bending it by heating it up and then bending it over. I'll show you. Gotta have light.
Yeah,
What I
good
do-
light.
What I do here is it's a lot of work to plumb one of these stupid things. I take this torch. I wish I had some white out, and I could anneal this easier. Too much.
Oh, wow. That did bend. Whew.
I got it too hot.
Mark, all you need to nail it is some 30-weight motor oil.
No, that would harden it.
Well, harden it. You just get it hot and then drop it in a 30-weight motor oil, and then you'll hear it go one time, and it's hardened.
That doesn't anneal it. That hardens it. You let it cool. You let it cool with, just out in the oxygen to anneal it.
Yeah, makes it soft.
Jeff Riley says that aluminum glue's great if you clean it really good.
I stick it in the bender there. Then I got to bend.
Nice. Yeah, it's a nice bend.
What I do with these is this back hole here is the Uniflow. Well, it's a bitch to get in. That's why they take so damn long to clear.
So do you JB weld it, Sparky?
Yeah. I'm filling the end caps up now with resin. The first ones I didn't have a full end, the end cap wasn't full. So what I'm doing now is I take these end caps and I fill them you know, just about to the top where they bend and then force it down in there. That way you got a little more meat on the end of the end cap. They're pretty stout.
Good idea.
This tank, when it's done, it feels like steel, you know, it feels like tin. It doesn't feel like plastic or anything, and it's light. It's an ounce.
Very nice.
Can hardly beat that.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much, Sparky, how much does one of your 6-ounce carbon tanks weigh?
1 ounce.
1 ounce. That's
28,
half the weight of a tin one.
That's
The tin
right.
one's about 2.5 ounces.
Yep.
It's less than half. Wow.
Very
1
nice.
ounce. That's what a 6-ouncer weighs.
Yes, Stuart.
I was just gonna say this to Mark, or I was thinking about this last little while. I went to our RC field and I did the pattern. This was last year, or most of it, and most of the guys there have never seen the pattern. They've flown the Cox planes, you know, maybe done a loop, and actually they were pretty impressed. And I'm not a very good flyer, but they couldn't believe it. They were kind of, I think, they were kind of shocked by it. So I thought you should do an RC challenge
Do a
with
what?
Pampa. An RC challenge with Pampa. And what you could do is set it up to try and get everybody in Pampa to go to an RC field, invite themselves, and show and fly the pattern. And I think it would be good for the control line as a whole, because a lot of these people, you know, I thought they more would have seen it before, but they haven't. So I think it would open up a lot of different avenues. So I don't know. It's just something I thought might be a good thing to do. And then you connect too with the RC guys too, which I think is also a thing. So if you want to set up an RC challenge, I got some ideas. We can talk sometime.
Yeah, I'll be glad to talk to you about that. Stuart, I know from Triple Tree, when we do all the ring rat flying, this year Will did just about all of it. The people have a lot of fun, but they get the feeling that's what it is. You know, if you can successfully fly the plane around without, you know, crashing it, that's control line flying. So what we always try to do is insert someone who can fly a pretty good pattern.
Yeah.
And that always surprises them. And another thing on what you said, we're finding that RC pattern guys have some interest in precision aerobatics, which makes sense. You know, they're disciplined, they're used to performance. We have a couple of them involved right now, like Jason Schulman, Mark Radcliffe. I mean, these are top shelf RC guys who are loving the hell out of control line.
Well,
so I think that's a great idea.
And you won't have to do the work. You just got to promote it and get everybody to go out there and do it. It's
and you know, I'm going to check the Pampa bylaws and see if my successor can be a Canadian.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'll change the bylaws then.
That's right.
We got laws up here too.
No, but thank you. I like that idea. Thank you.
Oh, great.
Years ago, I used to fly on what they call the Spirit of Utah. It was a promotion through AMA, and one of the requirements had to have a control line flyer. And we went down to south of Salt Lake and put a demonstration on there. And one of the ladies came over and says, you know, my husband flies RC, but I enjoyed yours a lot more because we could see what's going on. You know, because they were a lot closer to the action.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There was a lady used to come to the Toledo show and visit the Brodak booth. She flew RC with her husband, and she liked the idea of you control. She actually called it me control because she was connected to the airplane and she thought that made all the difference in the world. So
Absolutely.
I was like
Absolutely.
flying in front of a bunch of people that weren't familiar with control line, and you listen to them start to scream when you do that first part of the reverse wing over.
Yes.
To the ground, and they're all sure you're going to crash. Yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah.
They're always amazed at how did you get it inverted. They just like, how
Yeah.
I saw you flying upright, but then I saw you flying inverted. How did you do that?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we had
Stuart?
a couple of guys, actually a couple, husband and wife, Pat and Linda, watched myself fly and Joe Mata and Carl Reed, and they was really enamored with it. I thought they knew. I thought they had actually had flown control line, but they had said no, we just fly RC. And so it's amazing, to people who see it. They might have heard of it, but when they see it, they're just amazed at it.
well, Wes and I haven't had any success in actually, reclaiming or reconverting anybody among our RC club. But last week, at our second annual contest, so we run in conjunction with an RC meet, all right, on the same sanction. The clubs really embraced the fact that we were having an event, and they were the people working on the field and everything like that. Just were going out of their way to make it, good for us. And they did a really nice job on the field for us and stuff, and combined it with the event. And heck, they want me to they want me to run a 2-day contest next. So
nice.
So
hey, Denny, say no. Then it'll be 3 days.
It'll be Mark. Yeah, I don't. I'm preaching at a choir, but the slippery slope I'm getting on. So. Remember, I was dumb enough. I was Pampa president twice over a 30-year span. All right. So I knew what I was getting into and I got into it anyway. So,
yeah.
So, Bill Bailey.
Yes, sir.
I can hardly hear you.
No, but your work actually, even the local hobby shop guys, the owner and one of his workers there were talking with me the one day, and he said they just noticed it just seems like in the AMA magazine and everything else, they're just seeing more and more control line, mentioned all the time. And I mentioned that our leader is a real charger and everything like that. And he's trying to work with AMA to try to figure out how to rebuild it and stuff, and asking tough questions like, gee, why can I get a list of the people who say that they like control line flying? When we do our little membership survey, when we log in and stuff like that, or and it's seemed perfectly logical to them to ask a question like that. They'd like to know who the AMA members are around Fort Wayne, Indiana, when they're trying to sell RC model work or, parts and stuff. So, it's sub-optimized, I think would be the best way to put it. And
yes,
and the things that you're doing on all of our behalf is fabulous, and I just applaud what you're doing. And keep it up. Try to keep.
Absolutely.
I don't know how in the world you keep it all straight, and between Triple Tree and Brodak and now the Worlds and the Nats and everything like that. I hope you can keep your sanity through all of that. But thank you for all you do.
Wait a minute. 1 minute. 1 minute.
That's it.
Who said Mark was sane?
Yeah.
Well, we are coming up to Brodak, and I am angling for a dinner. That's all. So.
Okay, I was wondering because anybody that would take on what he's taking on,
that's
can't
exactly
be
right.
all that sane. He's got to be
he was a little odd.
Well,
it helps.
The signal to me really was, I ran unopposed and did not get every vote.
Yeah,
oh, God.
So, you have to You have to start there and kind of thinking about things.
Wow, I hadn't thought of that.
But actually, one person voted for Bob Hunt. That was me.
Oh,
But we didn't get enough for Bobby to do it.
yeah.
Funny.
You know, Denny,
Just
I
want
got
to
to
get
tell you,
Bob stuffed with it.
I think if this was 30 years ago, let's see, it started in 73. Yeah, maybe 30 years ago. I probably wouldn't be as excited about it because I don't think the challenges then were very different. You know, the
Yeah,
challenges
we had
now
hobby
are,
shops.
you know, they're serious. And I think because of that, you dig a little harder and you try to get creative on how to make this whole thing work. Well, I'll give you an idea right now. Jim Barry is just a wonderful district director up in District 1 up in New Hampshire in that area. He met a guy who makes very simple RC planes out of some kind of Depron. And he's going to he has a couple of simple designs for a beginner control line plane. Very low cost, very simple, durable. And I think that's one thing we're missing. You know, we need to find someone and say, hey, don't worry about it, fly it, you know, and get the experience of it.
We need a modern fire baby.
Yeah, there you go. There
with
you go.
Replaceable parts and
Yep.
everything like that.
Yeah. And I'll tell you another thing that it was just sometimes you just have good ideas. And at Triple Tree, the first weekend is normally very slow in terms of control line because most guys come later in the week for the contest and for stunt camp. And that's bugged me for a couple of years. And 2 years ago, I called Mike Lomke and I said, Mike, you think you could get the combat guys to come the first weekend to Triple Tree? Thinking I thought it would be a more exciting spectator event and it would bring more people to Triple Tree. Well, I'll tell you, this was their second year. And when they started flying, guys on golf carts, people walking, buses were coming over and watching them fly. And, you know, for a spectator, I think that's a lot more exciting than watching a pattern,
Mhm.
whether we admit it or not.
Oh, I admit it.
They're
For
coming
sure.
back again. They were already signed up for next year. And I think one of the keys is going to be, could we get some guys maybe who fly RC scale? Could we get guys to do perky racing? You know, any of these things that people haven't seen before.
Barrier.
You know, I'm not saying, well, I know this can go public. I'm not saying Pampa should get involved with all those other things. But I think at this point, anyone who's flying any kind of control line is a friend of ours. You know.
Did you mean control line scale? Is that what you meant? You said
Yes.
RC
Yeah.
scale.
Oh, I'm sorry, control line.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. It gets a little tiring, but it's good.
Does any of the control line people show up with a bi-slob or anything like that?
Seen one there.
The reason I ask is that, you know, a lot of the RC guys on our field, they're into, you know,
3D.
alleged aerobatic airplanes,
3D.
you know, prop hanging and everything like that.
Right.
And it's like, hey, we do that too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Somebody
sure do.
fly some
Yes, we
bi-slobs
do.
or something like that.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
a good
neat thing
idea.
is that they're, you know, they're close enough. And I'm sure you've seen this, you know, you get somebody like the helper goes and grabs the airplane out of the air, you know, when it's hovering, or then releases it again and stuff like that. And oh, by the way, they're doing all this even without a throttle, you know, so.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
you know, Dennis, I've got one that's better than a bi-slob. It's designed by Jim Rhodes, and it was 15-inch wingspan, 15-inch cord, 15% elevator, 15 size engine, and it'll do loops around the prop. And
Is
you
that
can do
a
tilt
flying flounder kind of thing?
I'm not sure about well, maybe a flounder, but it's square, 15 by 15, and you get in real tight loops to straighten out and do a tail slide. And we'd go down and get right close to the ground and go back up. It doesn't like to fly level. It gets real ugly when you fly level.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Bias lab next year. That sounds like fun.
I've seen
But
that.
back
The
to
hard part is trying to fly it the way it's meant to be and run the whole tank out.
Can you say
That's
back to President-elect Stewart and and stuff like that in our club. Wes and I have flown control line demonstrations as part of the RC club events and stuff like that. And you're right on target. You know, we usually get a pretty good crowd watching that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And, you know, it's some amazement. There's a handful of people who've flown control line before. There's a bunch who've never seen anything like that. And it's, you know, it's just something else. I think I'd like to see I'd like to see us united with the RC guys and sharing sites and stuff like that, like we do in Fort Wayne. It works really good for us. And I wish other clubs, you know, could do that too.
We do
I
that
think
here
they
in
do
Denver
that in
too.
St. Louis, or at least they share the, I don't know if the club's the same, but they share the same flying site and stuff like that. So yeah.
That's what we do here.
I've
They
got
do
another
that down
question.
in
I mean, Mark's got
Lexington.
everything.
And Len, you do it by you too?
No, see, we don't do much of that because of the fact that our leadership organization, MAC, doesn't, there's a
Yeah.
real big divide between control line and RC right now in that regard. Like, it's just the way it is. It's just a mess
Yeah.
right now.
I think you take on, you break that down on just on a one-to-one basis and forget the organization and just do it. So,
Oh, exactly. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I think a lot of the clubs up here are probably going to do away with MAC and just get private insurance and not even bother with it anymore.
Wow.
I see this coming. Like they've lost a huge portion of their membership at this point, from what I can see. So, what do you know? I don't know.
We had a question. Go ahead, Stuart.
Oh no, as Mark's said something, you said something about to do with photography a while back or something you mentioned. I've got a pretty decent camera and I'm gonna take some pictures at Brodak for fun. So I didn't know if you're kind of looking for some photos for stuff or you're okay, or I don't know. I just remember you said something about photography or something.
Yeah, we like as many as we can. I don't have a lot of time to do that. And we had, what was the man's name? Ed.
Yeah.
Elwin Odd.
Elwin, yeah.
Edwin
Yeah.
Odd, yes.
Yeah.
Elwin
Odd.
Elwin.
Elwin Odd.
Right.
AUDE.
He used to do a lot of that.
Is he still around?
No, he died.
No, we lost him.
Yeah.
Will
No.
Hubin
really?
shows up for a couple of days. He usually he does a pretty good job too. So
Stuart, I think you're really sucking up to be the president.
No.
Oh, okay.
all in favor? Aye.
Hear that train a coming.
Stuart, are you the one I'm gonna give the motors to?
Yep.
And Len, how much you gonna give me for that other engine?
What's that, Sparky?
You said you were gonna buy that other engine. How much you gonna give me for it?
Well, I think you said that you were selling it at Brodak's for $20 or so. That 61, the old one with no Venturi and stuff.
I didn't say $20, but whatever.
Well, I just noticed it because you had it on your show the other day. You were showing the stuff and what you were selling it for.
Yeah. Okay.
But whatever. I mean, I'm not worried about it. What do you want for it?
Well, I think it's worth more. I think it's worth more than $20, but you know, I'll send it up there. Whatever. How much you want to pay for it?
I'll
10.
25 or 30 work for you?
Yeah, give me $30 for it.
Fine. Yeah, I'll send you the 30. That's awesome. Sorry. Okay.
No, Stuart, if you could do that, that'd be great.
Like just general shots, is that what you want? Kind of thing.
There he is.
There we go.
There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
neat guy. He took some great pictures.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Oh, fabulous stuff.
Very nice guy.
Yeah, very nice
Yeah, one of
guy.
the best things you had to do before you left Brodak, make arrangements for him to send you a CD with all his pictures on it. It
Exactly.
was
Oh wow,
fabulous.
I didn't know he did that.
Will
Sorry.
Euban also does a good job.
Yeah, Will
Yes.
Hubin. Actually, let me show you. I got a couple pictures that Will Hubin took of me. Where's that?
Mark, Will Hubin is kind of like you. He does a good job at any darn thing he puts his hand to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very smart man, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He is
Very soft
very
spoken.
smart.
Yeah, I met him
Will's
at
a great guy.
Rolex, and let me see. Let me get rid of this other picture here. We got a picture. This is what he took of me. Let me see here. That was me at Brodax. That's a shot that Will Hubin took.
Oh, yeah, I remember this picture because that's Mike Waldron and his dad in the background.
What are you flying, a 2x4?
It's a Tudor. That's John Wright's Tudor, and I call it cold turkey because I did my first official flight with no practice with that plane at Brodax.
Way to do it.
Yeah, and that's when I think Mark came out and asked me what the problem is. I couldn't get my hand through the safety thong. Because John Wright is a lot thinner than I am.
You did fine.
Thank you. Well, you guys were almost straight up just a minute before the 9 o'clock hour for me out here. I want to thank everybody for coming in. I'm not going to be able to stay for the after party because actually today's my wife and I's anniversary.
All right.
Hey, happy anniversary, Charles. How many years?
27 years.
Wow.
27.
Wow.
That's all.
Youngins.
She let me go flying today, and I'm on the show today. So I got to get out of here so I can have a 28th
Yeah.
anniversary.
Yes, you do.
Well, speaking as someone on their 49th,
Wow.
working toward 50. Congratulations. Hang in there, buddy, but go take care of
Thank you
mama.
very much. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you guys, let's get together again Friday. Hopefully you have a chance to do some flying or do some time in your shop and come back and be able to share with me. I really appreciate all the share screens you guys did. And I'm really excited. I think we had 17 people at one time in our gallery tonight. So really high numbers.
Why don't you announce there's not going to be a show on the 7th?
Yeah, my son is graduating from high school on the 7th, next Friday. So I'm not going to do the show. You going to do it Friday, Sparky, or there's no show
No,
at
I'm
all?
going to be on the road to Brodax.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so unfortunately or fortunately, I'm going to be at my son's high school graduation next Friday.
So will you be here Monday?
I'll be here Monday. Monday. So
Okay.
no Friday, but be here Monday. So anyways, hey, you guys, thank you so much. I wish you guys fair tomorrow. You want to fly in Philip Bailey, fair winds, tight lines. And anybody else going flying tomorrow, fair winds, tight lines.